Sam, when you decided to finally like thaw your eggs, did you feel fear? Because like it is an investment for some people, and I'm sure you like it's time, energy, money, and or were you just like, okay, this is just something I have to do, or did you feel like, am I gonna regret this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I realized like, okay, this is what I have to do, actually did it, and then never thought of it again. That was not the experience. There were
Mm,
moments after that where I was like, gosh, I did the right thing, right? I did. Just like I would have brief moments like that, but
yeah.
overall, yeah, it was definitely a feeling of more like, yes, I'm glad I did that. I'd really rather be aligned more with like, what God would want me to do on these things. Um, so overall, it was more peaceful, but I definitely had those moments. Yes.
Yeah, because it's like one of those things. The worst thing is to just kind of like put one foot and the other to the other and be like, oh, did I
Right.
regret? Did I? Oh, it's like you constantly have to keep asking yourself. Sometimes with little things, like I'll talk to Shari. It's like, tama ba to? Tama ba to? Like, did I do the right thing?
Mm.
So how did you calm yourself, Sam, with the whole, okay, this was the right decision?
I think you just really have to think back to the reasons why the church teaches on this. And maybe basically just refresh your memory on what convinced you in the first place that yes, this makes sense to me. This is why I'm going to do this. Like I get it. And not be swayed maybe by like what the world teaches. Oh my gosh, does that sound like oh what the world? But like you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, remind myself of the understanding and how it's logical to me.
For people that are listening and like they don't really, I mean, I know a few people would be listening to this and are Catholic, but maybe you could, because like Sam, what I like about how you talk about his faith, it's very, would you say it's very modern or
Yeah.
applicable now? And I think sometimes people don't know the entire thing, or they just like stick to what is taught to them, what they hear at church and mass. They
Hmm.
don't, they don't go research. They don't go to YouTube University to check what is being said. For people that don't know, what is actually the teaching on egg freezing at the moment, or
Right, right. And yes, I agree. I think when I also first started learning about this, I was like, how come they don't talk about this, during the homily? They should tell me this stuff. Um, but and I'm not here to, cite verses from the catechism or like
Hmm.
tell you, reference the papal encyclical and whatever. Like, I am still, very much like learning about this and journeying through the faith. I'm not an authority on this stuff, but what I
Yeah.
understood and what made sense to me, coming to the faith meant basically that I acknowledged a creator, that there was a God who is a creator and created everything, the world, the universe, you and me, and that this creator is an intelligent being who had a purpose and a design for everything to work. And so, I mean, when you just look at our bodies, it is such an intricate system
Yeah.
of how everything works. And so when it comes to something like this, the church teaching is that there is a particular purpose for sex.
Hmm.
It is for
Mm.
the union of the spouses and for procreation. It is not a coincidence that when a man and a woman have intercourse, the result is a baby.
Yeah.
That is the purpose for sex, right?
Right.
So in the case of something like IVF, you would now take away the result of this act away from the act,
Hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's something now that strays from what God intended for sex to be, for what children to be. That made sense to me.
Hmm.
Another thing that bothered me was in the procedure of IVF, my understanding is that they will fertilize like not one, but a handful of eggs because they just don't know which one is going to stick whatever the term is, whatever the
Yeah.
scientific term is.
Mhm.
So they end up fertilizing a bunch and then injecting it to the woman and see how it pans out. And, we believe that life begins at conception. A newborn baby that has been carried to full term is a 9-month-old human being.
Mm.
So we can
Yeah.
date that back to, when this human life was a second old. And that is
Mhm.
the moment of conception, right?
Yeah.
So if I were to take this thing, do the IVF procedure, have these fertilized eggs inside me, and in the process, maybe lose 3, 4 fertilized
Mm.
eggs, which according to my belief are already the beginnings of human life, in order to have a child, like that was so ironic to me. So I was willing to sacrifice those human lives to get a human life. Like that doesn't make any sense.
This is
So
actually one
those
of the.
things,
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
yeah. So those things are the one, what lined up for me. And again, it made sense. And I think I was able to come to that decision and agree that yes, church teaching on this, I think is right.
Sound